OpenAI's own paper says 97.9% of their employees now run Codex, their telemetry, their paper. And last month, they quietly included the same tool in the free ChatGPT plan. Everyone gets it. Almost everyone will use 10% of it. So today I ran the experiments most tutorials never run. Same task, different briefs, every model tier, real logs on screen. By the end, you'll brief Codex like the top 1%, pay a fraction for the same work, and catch the bug its own tests missed. 9 moves, beginner to expert. All of them work on the free plans tool. No terminal fear required. Move on. Know what Codex actually is now because it changed in July and most tutorials on YouTube are describing a dead app. Codex is no longer a separate download. It lives inside the one unified ChatGPT app next to Chat and the new work agent on every plan, including free. The honest fine print. OpenAI doesn't publish free tier limits, and cloud features like GitHub code review need a paid plan. But the tool itself, the same one their engineers use, is sitting in the app you already have. And it's not one tool, it's 6 doors into the same brain. The desktop app, a terminal command line, an extension inside your code editor, cloud agents that work while your laptop is closed, your phone connected to your desktop, and a Chrome extension. Beginners pick one door and camp there. The 1% route each job to the right door. And that routing is most of this video. Move 2, the 4-part brief. OpenAI's own guide says a prompt is goal, context, constraints, and one magic sentence. Done when. So I tested it. Same small repo, same model, 2 briefs. Run A got what most people type. Add recurring tasks and a way to export my tasks to CSV. Run B got the full brief. Goal, context, constraints. Done when the tests pass. Here's the part nobody will tell you. The lazy prompt did not produce worse code. 10 out of 10 on my checklist. It even handled the January 31st edge case I never mentioned. These models are past the point where magic words make them smarter. But look closer. Run A invented its own interface, its own flag names, its own rules I never asked for. Run B shipped exactly the interface I specified, 20 seconds faster, with a cleaner test layout. That's what the brief buys you now. Not a smarter model. Your feature instead of a feature. In a real project, Run A means another round trip to redo flags your team already agreed on. Write the 4 lines. It's the cheapest insurance in AI coding. Move 3. Stop retyping your project rules. Codex reads a file called AGENTS.md before it touches your code. The 1% treat it as an operating contract, not a wish list. The exact test command, the exact style rules, what done means, what it must never touch. OpenAI's own doc says it best. A short, accurate file beats a long file of vague rules. Run/init and Codex drafts one for you, then cut it down. It stacks 2. One in your home folder for personal taste, one per repo for the team, and an override file per folder that wins locally. In my Run B, that contract is why the tests landed in the right place with the right style, for free, on every future task in that repo. Move 4. The biggest lever beginners never touch. Which model and how hard it thinks. Codex now runs 3 brains. Sol, the flagship. Terra, the workhorse. Luna, the cheap sprinter. Plus a dial for reasoning effort. Most people run the flagship on maximum for everything, and then post on Reddit asking where their weekly limit went. Same lazy prompt, same repo, every tier. Sol shipped it in 91 seconds, about 19 cents at API rates. Luna, the model that costs 1/25th of Sol, shipped the same working feature for about 1 cent. And extra high reasoning on Sol, the setting people leave on all week. Same feature, 3 times the tokens, twice the weight, 49 cents. And on a $20 plus plan, you get up to 2000 lunar messages every 5 hours versus as few as 10 on Sol. Every small task you send to the flagship is burning your scarcest budget. The rule the 1% use: Luna for quick fixes and renames, Terra for daily features, Sol on high for the gnarly debugging session, and keep your finger on the effort dial. You can step it up or down mid session. One of those 3 runs I just showed you shipped a real bug, by the way. Hold that thought. Move 9. If that table just saved your rate limits, that's what every video here does. Follow. Member on YouTube. Supporter on Facebook. Move 5. If Codex nags you for permission every 30 seconds, that's not the tool being annoying. That's a configuration you never opened. There are 2 separate layers: the sandbox, what it can touch, and approvals, what it must ask about. Beginners click allow, allow, allow 500 times a week. The 1% set the pair per job, read only, and ask everything for a stranger's repo. Workspace write and never ask inside a project with good tests. And you can write name permission profiles, including one line that blocks it from ever reading your MV files and secrets. Set it once, and the nagging and the risk both drop. This is also exactly where you should be when you let it run free. Sandbox tied, secrets blocked, tests as the referee. Move 6, the single most unknown trick in the whole tool. While Codex is working, you can keep typing. Press enter, and your message stirs the current run, mid-flight, without killing it. Press tab instead and it queues for the next turn. Watched it go down the wrong path? Don't smash escape and start over like 99% of people. Redirect it and keep your context alive. And before you try something risky, /fork copies the whole conversation, so you can experiment on a branch and keep the original. Move 7. This is where it stops feeling like autocomplete and starts feeling like a team. /worktree gives each task its own isolated copy of the repo, so 3 agents can work 3 tasks without stepping on each other. The practical ceiling power users report is 3 to 5 at once. Past that, you become the bottleneck reviewing them. And the cloud version has a move almost nobody uses: attempts. One command, and the cloud runs the same task 3 times independently. You pick the best of 3 and pull it down. For anything gnarly, best of 3 beats arguing with one attempt. That's how OpenAI's own teams run it. Fire tasks on the train, triage diffs when you sit down. Move 8. Stop reprompting workflows you repeat. Codex has skills. Reusable playbooks you invoke with a $sign. There's even a skill that writes skills. Describe the workflow once. Invoke it forever. On a Mac, you can go further. Hit record, do the workflow once by hand, and Codex drafts the skill by watching. Then, automations run those playbooks on a schedule: daily triage, test failure summaries, release notes. One rule from OpenAI's own playbook: automate only what you've already done manually and trust. Automating a workflow you haven't proven just ships your mistakes on a timer. Move 9. And the payoff I owe you: that bug. Terra's run passed 16 out of 16 tests. Then I completed a rent task due January 31st, and it scheduled the next one for March 3rd. It added 1 month like a number, rolled through February 31st, and its own tests never checked a month end. 16 green check marks, and rent silently skips a month. That's the real lesson of the whole video. Passing tests the agent wrote is the agent grading its own homework. The 1% close the loop. Run/review on every diff before it merges. It's a fresh set of eyes in one command. Better, have one AI generate and a different one review. The teams getting the wild results all run some version of generate here, verify there. And guard your context like a budget. Compact the session before it drifts. Keep a plans folder in the repo as external memory. Keep one chat per task. instead of one eternal chat. An agent with a clean context and a hostile reviewer is worth 10 agents vibing alone. Real talk. 90% of you watching haven't subscribed. On Facebook, subscribe is the supporter button. That is what keeps the lights on here. On YouTube, it's free and it tells the algorithm to send you more. Subscribe to support us. Here's who you are now if you actually do these. You brief instead of vibing. You route each task to the right brain at the right price. You steer instead of restarting. You run 3 lanes in parallel, and nothing merges without a second pair of eyes. That, not some secret prompt, is the entire gap between the 99% and the 1. I put all 9 moves on one page: the brief template, the operating contract, the model matrix with real prices, the permission profiles. Comment the word topon, and my bot sends it over, or grab it at hyperautomationlabs.co/free/topon. And if you're just getting started with Codex and want the step-by-step beginner path, the OpenAI Codex guide is linked below with our other beginner playbooks. Follow on Instagram and Facebook. Same experiments every week.